Yeah, I'll react to that, sure.
How was my shirt wrinkled when I just, like, it was on a hanger? Anyways. Okay, guys. Okay. Let me just give you my resume. I have eaten McDonald's both in Europe and in the USA. I have eaten McDonald's more than any human should. It's just a fact. So, I don't think there's anyone better to review this video than I.
On November 19, 2022, Juan Bous tweeted...
By the way, I only got McDonald's, like, most beautiful McDonald's I've ever had, I've ever been to. It was beautiful. It was on our way from Munich, Germany to Innsbruck, Austria. And it was kind of like, it was getting really mountainous, right? So more towards Innsbruck for sure. But it was beautiful. It was kind of at night. We were driving, and it was like 2 stories. It had a nice, like a giant espresso machine, right? And the McDonald's was great. So I also went to a McDonald's in France where you can get Heineken. I think 2 McDonald's in France. One of the only times we had a big language barrier was at a McDonald's in France where, like, we only knew English, she only knew Spanish, French, the cashier, and, like, one big Mac. But yeah, of like the 3 or 4 times I had McDonald's in Europe, I would say they were all very decent. Definitely better than your average American experience. Yeah, but let's see.
This picture.
Original link to the original video from Fern. I'm gonna subscribe. Top of the description, guys. Discord below that. Would love to have you. My name is Connor. If you're new, let's go. Okay.
On November 19, 2022, Juan Bous tweeted this picture. Absolutely loving the design of this reusable packaging that's being introduced at McDonald's France. The reusable packaging went viral, like really viral. Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, retweeted him and said something French. We saw all of this and had a lot of questions. How come McDonald's is introducing this type of packaging? Why in France? And why does it look so good?
I'm assuming for, environmental reasons, cutting down on plastic and whatnot, or, having reusable stuff. You don't have to throw as much away. But it definitely, in my opinion, I love the fries you can get in like Belgium or the Netherlands, where they come in like a paper cone, right? I love that. And I like the paper, keeping environmental impact out of it. I would definitely prefer, I think this is not better than the paper stuff. Something about fries in a paper bag is just so good to me. All right, I need to pause, not less.
We went down a rabbit hole and ended up modeling the entire dishware collection. As it turns out, sleek fry containers tell many stories. How the European Union is bringing conglomerates like McDonald's to their knees, not just in France, but all over the continent. How a country known for everything fancy developed a truly unique relationship with fast food, and a completely different type of McDonald's, McDo.
Guys, I'm pausing, I know, okay, but went to a McDonald's, so we went down here, up into here, down here. First McDonald's was the Innsbruck one. So Innsbruck is like right here, most beautiful. It was so beautiful, guys. Like, I'll never forget it. And on the second level, you can walk up in the McDonald's, and there was like an arcade room or whatever, but then there was a balcony like that a 5-star, Michelin star restaurant would have. So awesome. All right, so best McDonald's I've ever been to right there, and the food was good. Then into Switzerland, didn't have any McDonald's, and then into France, we had a McDonald's on our way to Paris. So another one in France, and then we went to a McDonald's in Paris, right? And mainly because like we're on the road the whole time. We're kind of quickly, you know, a day or 2 days max wherever we're stopping. And so 3 McDonald's, all 3 of them were good. And that's I know that's a small sample pool, but they were all good.
How a country known for everything fancy developed a truly unique relationship with fast food and a completely different type of McDonald's, McDo.
McDonald's in France, you don't understand how popular it is.
And of course, how good design can transform experiences.
Looks like a Happy Meal.
Been to a McDonald's in Paris?
No? Why?
And I'm sorry, guys. Oh my God, I paused 3 times before the intro. Why do these fries? What is with the look of the fries? I don't. Those fries do not look great.
Design can transform experiences.
Sorry, I'm pausing too much.
No? Why?
This is your life in weeks if you're lucky enough to turn 80 years old. And this is the amount of time you spent on your career, 80,000 hours. We choose to spend this time on researching McDonald's packaging for YouTube videos. You probably want to spend all the time on something meaningful that makes a big positive difference in the world.
No.
80,000 hours is also the name of today's sponsor, a non-profit that wants to help you figure out.
No, I'm a lazy piece of. But guys, any of the videos I watch, if they have a sponsor, please, you know, I'm gonna watch the advertisement they have here. But please, if you ever see the links that they have down there, if you're interested in what they're sponsoring, what the sponsor is promoting, use the / whatever, because if you're the person who's sponsoring, giving money to someone for promoting their thing on their YouTube video, they'll get data of how much they're getting out of that channel by how many people use the / and the promo code. So please use that in the videos that I watch with you.
Researching the question of how
the least we can do, it's their content.
Career that does good for years. They have a website that provides you all that research, a podcast, and also a newsletter. They have a job board that provides hundreds of open listings for potential high-impact career paths. And all of their advice and research is free, forever.
Can't show a Coors Light on camera.
How to do something that feels meaningful, helps others, and makes a positive difference, maybe check out their in-depth career guide at 80,000hours.org/fern. Life is short, but what you do with your decreasing time is up to you. Anyways, it all started with a simple message. Yo, Juan, would you be down? He was.
Juan.
There is something there with the whole ad campaign around it, and I think people's reactions to it are quite good. But then also maybe like the question is like, are people gonna steal this?
When Juan is not going viral and getting featured in Drew Gooden videos, he's a UX writer for some of the biggest brands out there. Oh, and Juan also lives in Paris. To get a better look at this weird new packaging, we needed a man on the ground. Juan was that man. The design is truly spectacular. We will get to that in a minute. First, we need to understand why this is happening. As we reviewed Juan's footage and dug deeper, we realized...
What are these like sweet potato fries? Or like, oh, are those purple potatoes?
That it's not just the packaging that makes French McDonald's special.
I don't remember that.
Chapter 1. The Rise of McDo.
Fast food in France do not seem like a good match. It's the country of fine dining, Michelin stars, and long-lasting...
I pressed pause by accident, guys, sorry.
...of fine dining, Michelin...
Pause recording.
...stars and long-lasting dinners in cozy bistros. When McDonald's came to the country in 1997, the French were skeptical.
70, 80 top chefs in the country took out a newspaper ad in the country's biggest newspaper saying that they thought it was preposterous that McDonald's was coming to France. And they were like, this is absolutely ridiculous. We need to stop this fast food thing.
But they could not help but indulge, like everybody else on the planet.
Ici, c'est plus complet, c'est plus sympa.
Nonetheless, the company remained controversial for decades.
Guys, I love the French attitude. So in a way, I'm sure it can come across as like self-praise and a bit obnoxious or whatever. But the French, a bit like Americans, like the French are so unapologetically French. and they like French things. They want to keep France, keep what makes France today in the French, in France. And, they're very big about keeping, their language. A lot of other places are learning English a lot. They're like, no, French. And I admire that. They're unapologetically French and love being it.
In 1992, it launched a poster.
I'm going to stop pausing. No more pausing.
Company remained
Probably.
controversial for decades. In 1992, it launched a poster campaign showing the French chef and absolute superstar Paul Bocuse secretly dreaming about a Big Mac while examining a pile of plump chickens. The chef sued right away for $2.7 million.
When I found out these were real Big Mac advertisements, I immediately contacted my lawyers and instructed them to seek damages. How can I be seen promoting this tasteless, boneless food in which everything is soft?
His lawyer added the ad would be
An intolerable insult to the Pope of world cuisine.
7 years later, it got much worse for the fast food chain. At the time, the World Trade Organization and the US were trying to force Europe to accept imports of hormone-induced beef. Europe resisted, and the US in turn imposed heavy duties on certain luxury products as a retaliatory measure. One of the items targeted was Roquefort cheese from France. French sheep farmers were angry, and they found a symbol of American global capitalism and trade doctrine like no other.
That seems a bit kind of unfair on the American part, because it's not like the French are denying your food just because it's American-made produce or meat. It's because they don't like the hormones injected, and then you retaliate with foods that don't have any risks or researched, proven risks to it. So that doesn't seem very
Europe was a retaliatory measure.
All right, last
One
pause.
of the items targeted was Roquefort cheese from France. French sheep farmers were angry, and they found a symbol of American global capitalism and trade doctrine like no other: McDonald's. So a French horde went and utterly wrecked a restaurant of the chain, which was currently under construction in the small French city Millau. The horde was led by the activist and sheep farmer José Bové, the Frenchest-looking man of all time.
I was just going to say that. I swear. The most French-looking French person ever.
Activist and sheep farmer José Bové, the Frenchest-looking man of all time. I mean, what even is this pipe? The McDonald's incident made Bové a national hero and leader of the French anti-globalization
Looks like
movement.
Pinot,
He published a
Vichy
best-selling
France
book
president.
2 years later, and in 2007 he ran for president.
I gotta shut the hell up.
Published a best-selling book 2 years later, and in 2007 he ran for president. Later he went into European politics, all on the back of really hating McDonald's.
José Bové rose to global fame 15 years ago after he demolished a half-built McDonald's.
However, despite Bové's crusade, McDonald's could not be slayed. Off the bat, it had a competitive advantage over brasseries, bistros, and cafes. The restaurants were designated as takeout joints. This meant the value-add tax was just 5.5% versus the 19.6% at gastronomic restaurants. The food was cheap and the French economy was bad, like always. Another factor played a much bigger role though. McDonald's always has been good at inserting itself into the local culture of the country it operates in. But nowhere has it succeeded on such a scale as in France. The company realized that French customers were drastically different from American ones. Americans visited McDonald's more often, at any time of the day, frequently alone, opting for takeout 70% of the time. In contrast, the French came in groups, spent more money per visit, and significantly more time in the restaurants. 70% of them dropped in during regular lunch and dinner hours. French McDonald's was not treated like a takeout place by customers, but like any other bistro.
All right, last pause, maybe. But the only times I recall eating McDonald's, like sitting down in McDonald's to eat, was with my friends when one of us got their license in high school and we had a car and we can go places. And you'd be high and want something like McDonald's to talk about. Like the only time, because nobody wants all of their friends to be eating McDonald's in there. Like, and so those are the only times I remember, is like when we were 15, 16, 17, 18, and just going to McDonald's with friends and then eating inside. Other than that, I don't know if I've ever eaten inside McDonald's.
NPR puts it, sitting down to a meal is a cornerstone of French culture. So the chain adapted. In the US, its restaurants are designed to attract people from afar, the golden M glooming high, calling you to that sweet, sweet drive-in in a car. The interior is often a little uncomfortable, intended to minimize customer visiting time and maximize purchasing turnover.
That's the best inside of McDonald's I've ever seen. That's the stereotypical inside of a McDonald's in the US.
Minimize customer visiting
They're
time
being generous.
and maximize purchasing turnover. In France, the restaurants are often sleek, modern, and comfortable. You can find relatively cozy corners designated specifically for larger groups of people. Sometimes there's even table service. On the outside, the golden M is often subdued on the facade. The architecture is regionally diverse.
That looks so much more classy. Like that looks so much classier than most McDonald's giant yellow M that is usually like only partially lit up at night because part of it's broken and it looks like just like a giant N or something like that.
Subdued on the facade. The architecture is regionally diverse. McDonald's in France almost doesn't feel like fast food. That is so apparent, even the dumbest show on the planet, Emily in Paris, noticed.
This is so chic. There's no grimace, no hamburglar.
What's a hamburglar?
Hamburger.
Products are locally sourced, and they are
You guys use baguette bread on sandwiches from McDonald's? Okay, you're better.
unique offerings like the obvious McBaguette, but also a Croque McDo. McDonald's does this everywhere, of course, but they do it very well in
McRib.
France. There's a funny little review of the world-famous La Dorée macarons in Paris on TripAdvisor. The reviewer concludes, the macarons taste the same as the ones sold at McDonald's across the road, except for 4 times as much as the price. You see, this person from London is not just angry, they are onto something. The macarons at McDonald's are indeed manufactured by the same company.
Buy in bulk.
Today, McDonald's is universally called McDo in France. It is a cultural institution and even has its own slogan.
Venez comme vous êtes. So like, come as you are.
Damn it, I wanted to guess.
Considered to be one of the biggest and most profitable markets for McDonald's in the world. So, McDo...
Come as you are? Is that like because most people in France kind of dress well usually? And it's like a, you know, come as you are? Why are there shelves?
is special. But why would they come up with reusable dishware? It seems like quite the hassle. Well, the root of it all is the EU.
Chapter 2. The EU's War on Plastic.
Sometimes people don't realize how powerful the EU actually is. The European Union's executive body, the Commission, can issue directives. These directives are goals, which must be achieved by all member countries. But every country can decide on how to get there. Once translated into national law, the member states must notify the Commission, which in turn checks if it is A-OK. Then, the directive needs to be enforced in every country. If a member fails, it may get fined. A particularly famous directive is Directive 2019/904 of the European Parliament and of the Council of 5 June 2019. Okay, whatever, nerds. Basically, it's a big EU move to reduce the impact of plastic on the environment. This includes the much ridiculed ban of plastic straws and balloon sticks. But in truth, it goes much further than plastic straws becoming paper ones. For example, the directive makes single-use plastic producers pay to clean up single-use trash. And finally, the important point, it forces member countries to find ways to reduce the consumption of single-use plastics, such as food containers and beverage cups. France is always exceedingly extra and top of the class in combating plastic. They've gone way above what was expected and banned new single-use plastic packaging from 2040. From early 2025, new plastic packaging has to be made of 100% recycled plastic. And since the beginning of 2023, single-use packaging is banned from French fast food restaurants. Which brings us to this.
What the hell are those fries? What are those fries?
Which brings us to this.
Those look like McDonald's fries if you like triple fried them to be super brown and almost burnt and then let them go stale for like 6 days. Like, is this just part of the animation? I don't remember when I was eating European McDonald's fries looking any different than American fries. I think it's maybe just the animation. I'm getting too hung up on the fries.
Chapter 3.
Le dessin est incroyable.
When we first chatted with Juan, he shared our initial fascination with the French McDonald's reusable packaging.
If you look at the fries basket, like it looks sort of...
There we go.
Immediately tell what it is, like a McDonald's fries basket. But it looks kind of modern. It looks kind of like, you know, apple-fied. Yeah, they kind of nailed it with the design.
Juan also filmed how you ultimately return the dishware. The process seems a lot more dignified than the usual dumping of 500 kilograms of trash into an oversized, nasty, overflowing eat-it-all bin. We went on to model the dishware based on his footage and promotional material, because why not?
Guys, I just want to reiterate, I'm not saying that it's not worth discounting any ecological impact. Okay, I think that the paper and the paper cups, drinks, and whatever they look more appealing. Okay, I'm not saying that you should keep them regardless of the ecological environmental impact, recycling impact, but just on its face, no, I don't think it looks better.
Undeniably French. The design studio behind it is called Ilium. They picked a plastic called Trident for the various containers, which is similar to glass and ceramic in its hardness and transparency, and preserves the organoleptic qualities of the food.
Organoleptic qualities.
Vents, graining, striations have all been designed to address their functions in the best possible way. Greasy hands need great grip. The development of this technology took over 2 years, and surprisingly, it gets stolen a lot. The reused dishware went viral with good right, but it's just one small part of a much more elegant whole. For a country where eating at the restaurant is the norm, it makes even more sense that the food is not needlessly overpacked anymore. However, it's unclear if relying on reusable plastic is actually more sustainable than switching to long-wearing glass or china. The French government promises to remain vigilant on this question. McDonald's has been...
I can be nitpicking here, maybe I'm being annoying, but I like plastically wrapped... This is like the worst. I like plastically wrapped plastic forks, okay? I do, because it gets rid of any gross factor. This is a selfish thing, but even if I know it's perfectly cleaned, it's, perfectly sanitary, it just, I like using plastic utensils. Just because, I have no back of the thought of, is this cleaned well? We need robots at McDonald's because that there's no one was sweating on the grill, or no one is there at 11 a.m. who hates their job and it's just wah, 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 right? Or no one, is gonna. We need robots at McDonald's. So I'm sorry. I know I'm not saying I'm against getting rid of them, but I like plastic utensils.
Doing very tiny steps towards
or one-use utensils
for more than 30 years. Ironically, we made a video in German before knowing about all this, criticizing the chain for greenwashing their enormous trash footprint in Germany and pretend fixing the issue.
You mean whitewashing? I feel like people don't understand what whitewashing means. Or is he just using so whitewashing means making something look better than it really is, right? So is he just being clever there?
Some EU directives and one chunky national law later, we get this. To us, this is a story of how business, if set on the right track through legislation, can really leap forward. McDo really did turn around the French anti-plastic legislation to their benefit, simply through introducing a design so noteworthy, people talk about it. Like us. Apparent even.
Okay, Cool video for sure. Would appreciate any comments, guys. Hope you're all doing well. I disagree that it looks better at all. Like, I love the paper little paper bags for my fries. I love the cardboard casing for my burger. I love the cardboard paper cup. I love plastic straws. This is like out of the environmental impact of them. I just think they look better. But if this does have a drastic change, you know, I'm willing to, you know, let's get robots at McDonald's, please. Hope you guys are all doing well. Love y'all. If you aren't doing well, I'm serious, guys. Mental health is no joke. I know it doesn't have anything to do with the video. I want to say it every now and then. I really hope you're doing well. If not, you'll be okay soon. Emotions are fickle, my friends. I'd appreciate any comments. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.